From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 4th, 2020. A Palestinian man was arrested in the West Bank last night after being found carrying a knife. The incident took place at a security checkpoint near Modi'in, where Israeli security guards noticed the man acting suspiciously as he approached the area and told him to stop. He then threw a knife on the ground and was taken for questioning. Israel's President Rivlin is urging calm in the debate over the U.S. peace plan and possible West Bank annexation, being heard from Israeli politicians from the right and the left and from settler leaders. The president taped a video for social media and tweeted, stressing that healthy debate was the stuff of a strong Israeli democracy, and that criticism from any political side should not be prevented. But he stressed the verbal violence, the name-calling, the ridiculing, and the contempt must stop. More Jewish response now to the murder of George Floyd and the current unrest. The leaders of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Arthur Stark, William Daroff, and Malcolm Hoenlein, issued a statement to share their outrage over the detestable killing. They said American Jews historically have been and will continue to be allies of the African American community and all others in the fight against racism and injustice in the United States. Adding that the First Amendment right to peacefully protest must be protected. At the same time, they said we condemn acts of violence and vandalism, urging a return to mutual engagement, constructive dialogue, and to building coalitions to help move our country forward. Oscar-nominated screenwriter, playwright, and author Bruce J. Friedman has died. Friedman's best-known works include the novels Stern and About Harry Towns, and his scripts for the movies Splash and Stir Crazy, as well as his short story A Change of Plan, which was adapted by Neil Simon into the film The Heartbreak Kid. Friedman died yesterday in New York City. He was 90. 3 airlines are resuming service to Israel after a halt because of the coronavirus pandemic. According to the Times of Israel, Air Canada, Delta, and Lufthansa have scheduled flights to the country, though there is still a ban on non-Israeli citizens from entering the country unless they have special permission, which remains in place at least until June the 15th. And Israelis who return to Israel must self-quarantine for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the leaders of Greece and Cyprus are set to visit Israel later this month, the first foreign heads of state to do so. Hebrew media reports that Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis will arrive on June the 16th and Cypriot President Nikos Anastasiadis on June the 23rd to discuss restarting flights between the two countries and restarting tourism. A new Israeli-made microscope is making headlines. Israeli scientists say the quantum electron microscope provides the clearest picture ever produced of light moving inside materials. Inventor Ido Kamener told the Times of Israel, "It's like the moment when we went from having cameras that could capture still images to also having the power to capture video." Kamener built the microscope at the Technion, Israel's Institute of Technology in Haifa. He said, "This is the first time we have built something like this in Israel, and it's one of the best microscopes in the world." The microscope has been in use for several months by scientists who were given special permission to work with it during the coronavirus crisis, but was not publicized by the Technion until certification and testing by other scientists and the recent acceptance of a paper on the microscope in the journal Nature. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, June the 4th, we continue to remember the Six-Day War, which began on June the 5th of 1967, and to analyze its impact, including tonight at 7, the film 6 Days in June. And at 9, Mark Golub sits down with Thane Rosenbaum, Eric Yaffe, Betty Ehrenberg, and Abe Foxman to discuss the repercussions of the war. At 10:30, Executive Director of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, looks back at the Six-Day War. And coming up right after this newscast, Mark Golub speaks with Rabbi Abraham Cooper, director of the Simon Wiesenthal Center's Global Social Action Agenda, who addresses anti-Semitic graffiti on synagogue walls and anti-Semitic expressions on social media during the current protests of George Floyd's murder. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 4th, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy. Stay well.